Whether if you're an experienced furniture flipper or you're just starting out, I think this is the perfect flip to learn a lot of different strategies and how to get a really quality finish. We're going to go over how I took these nightstands and turned them into a great modern look with just over $100 of materials, but that also gave me investments for the future. I'm going to go over tips, products, strategies, and of course, a cost breakdown at the end. So let's get started. I bought these nightstands intentionally looking for a quick flip, and these are a couple of the things that I looked for to achieve this exact goal. I wanted something with a high market demand, and nightstands in most markets sell really quickly because they are so needed. Another really popular item for most markets are long 9-drawer dressers. For price, I always set myself to a personal goal of under 20% of what I think the pieces could sell for. For example, if I think these can sell for $300, I'm not going to spend more than $60 on the nightstands themselves. Next, I'm looking for overall damage. I'm looking for damage to the veneer, I'm looking for damage on the finish, I'm looking for anything that's going to require more time because I need to calculate that into my hours that will be spent, and I need to make note of all the extra areas that are going to require more attention. Another important factor to look for is a maker's mark. This could highly increase the value of your piece, so open up those drawers and look for a maker's mark on the inside of the drawers. Lastly, the thing that I consider the most is the quality of material. This is going to set up the foundation for what plan I end up going with and how I'm going to flip each piece, because the quality of material definitely plays a part. For example, these are veneer, they're not solid wood, so it's going to be the most beneficial for me to paint these rather than consuming my whole time and focus in veneer repairs because I'm trying to get these done quickly. Let's start talking products. The first product I use is I am going to remove all of the hardware, and then I'm going to go in with my Simple Green Cleaner. I get a whole tub of Simple Green Cleaner for $10.98. And it lasts me months and months of projects, so I highly recommend it. Another reason I get Simple Green Cleaner is because it's not only an all-purpose cleaner, but it's also a degreaser, so I noticed that it's really effective with removing old grime, and so I feel like I get the most bang for my buck. Next, we're going to talk about fixing these damages. I had a couple of veneer repairs that I needed to do, but also I'm going to fill in these old hardware holes, and that I'm using Bondo. Bondo is an incredible product. It hardens up in about 3 minutes after mixing it together, and it'll solidify so that it fills in any holes, dings, any areas that need to be flushed and flat. The entire tub of Bondo is only $25.95, and it gets so much use out of it. And so because of the quick drying time, I definitely think it's worth it. And in my preference, when I'm painting, I prefer it over wood filler because, again, the drying time is so phenomenal. This is a little bit of a sidetrack, but does seeing a picture of the product in the bottom right portion of the screen, is that helpful? Does that give you any benefit? Does that give you any additional support? If it does, please let me know, because obviously it requires more editing. But if you guys think it's helpful, I will continue to do it. Because after all, I do love you guys, and you're the reason I edit. Right there, I was showing how there is a little divot still in the Bondo, so I always do a second layer to make sure it's all flush and flat. Next, we're going to get into sanding. We're going to sand it flat so that the paint goes on evenly and it gives that factory finish feel. There are 3 types of sanding. The first one is going to be scuff sanding. When you scuff sand, you are going to do 120 to 150 grit, and your goal is just to roughen up the old finish so that your primer will adhere to the piece, which will then help your paint stick. The whole point of getting it to adhere to the piece is so that when you scratch it with your finger, with a quarter, with a wall even, it won't rub off. Next is primer. I was so excited to try this new product that I found with this turbo spray nozzle. It's Bullseye's 123 primer, which is a phenomenal product. So having it in a spray can, which required so much less setup, was really exciting. I will say, one of the things that I wish I knew before starting, and this is maybe common sense, but I wish I knew to shake the can better because it splurted out on part of the piece. So I just had to sand that a little harder. But yeah, shake the can and it is amazing. It went on really, really quickly, really easily, smoothly, and it was only $17. And I did use the whole can for these 2 nightstands. We're moving at a fast pace because this project really was super quick, so keep up. We are now going to do the second type of sanding. This one is lightly sanding, and it's pretty self-explanatory. You're going to take 300 to 600 grit and you're going to lightly sand in between your coats to remove any imperfections and get it as smooth as possible. Next, let's talk about what paint to buy. There are so many different options and it can feel so overwhelming, but here is a really great place to start. Home Depot and Lowe's both have their signature paints that they use. Home Depot sells Behr paint and Lowe's sells Valspar paint, and they both have very similar details that you need to look for when buying them. First, you're going to look at the top of the can. The top will tell you if it's interior or exterior. For furniture, you're going to want to use interior, and then it's going to show the finish. The finish is going to be semi-gloss, which is the shiniest, satin, which is the medium, and flat, which has no shine at all. I personally prefer satin because it's that perfect medium for me. You can look for a paint and primer. I still recommend priming beforehand, but if you're looking to really save money, then this is a great combination that'll help you achieve that. And you don't have to prime before, you can just solely go off of the paint and primer itself. But for a better quality, I recommend priming beforehand. Then all you're going to do next is you're going to look at paint color samples. Home Depot and Lowe's both mix the paint and give you the exact color you're looking for before you even leave the store. I love it. It's something I didn't even know before starting furniture flipping. Lastly, keep in mind, when you buy a gallon of paint, it's going to last you some time. I use about 1/6 of the whole gallon for 2 nightstands, and that's multiple coats of paint too. So it's definitely a great investment, in my opinion, to do a common color that you're going to use multiple times. Next, we're going to be going over my favorite part of the entire process, and that is spraying on our paint and top coat. A spray gun is so beneficial in so many ways because it not only gives you a way faster paint time, but it also gives you a smoother and overall a higher quality finish, which is why I love it. This spray gun right here is a great beginner-friendly sprayer, and it's only for $79. However, I'm so excited because I'm about to hit 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, which is so amazing, and 5,000 followers on Instagram, which means that I'm going to be giving away 2 of these sprayers when I hit those numbers. And that's not to bribe you or anything, but I think you should subscribe or follow to definitely stick around for that and be a part of it. Okay, lastly, polyurethane. Polyurethane, it's a water-based top coat, which I always use in a satin finish, and it's $70 for the whole gallon, but again, very similar to the paint. I only use about 1/6 of it for my projects, so it is a great investment, and it's going to give you a way higher quality finish, and it's going to protect the paint that you just spent so much time applying. Okay, you guys, so just a reminder, here's where we started out, the very bland, and they're still beautiful structure, but they had some damage on them before with the stains on the top, the broken veneer, and they weren't high quality. And now here is what we were able to accomplish in just 4 hours of work time. This was such an incredibly easy flip, and all of the products that I listed really helped get the best finish for me. And I am so happy with the outcome, especially with the wood grain showing through the paint. Now we're gonna get to what you guys need to know, a cost breakdown. I bought this set of nightstands from Facebook Marketplace for $50. Then there was the primer, I used the entire can. The sanding pads, I used about $8 worth. Paint, I only used about $6 worth for the whole gallon. Polyurethane was about $11, and then miscellaneous supplies like hardware that I already had, my simple green cleaner, and a couple of other things. That was $11 in addition, so my total costs came out to $105.13. I posted this set on OfferUp, Facebook Marketplace, and Instagram, and I ended up selling them for $300, which gave my profit a total of $194.87. This is a great outcome for such a simple project that ended up getting me a lot more experience. It got me used to the products that I was using. And again, it earned me $200 in only 4 hours of work. So if you have any questions to help you get the same outcome, please leave them in the comments. I'd love to answer all and any of your questions that you have, because I want you to succeed just as much as I want myself to succeed. And don't forget to subscribe. If it's not for my first ever giveaway coming up very soon, then definitely do it for the next 2 big projects that I have that I'm so excited to share with you guys. Okay, bye!